Hi, PE565. My name is Gina, and I'm going to go ahead and give my answers to our welcome video. How would you like to be addressed in this class, and what's your preferred name? Everyone can just address me as Gina, that's fine. Where did you earn your undergraduate degree? What was your major? And was I involved in athletics at that institution? I earned my undergraduate degree over at Long Beach State. I was a kinesiology major with the emphasis in secondary physical education, and I was lucky enough to be able to play water polo while at that school. What is your current employment and how long have you been employed there? I am currently in my first year in this school district, and as a middle school PE teacher over in Norwalk, California. And again, it's my first year being a middle school PE teacher. I previously came from an elementary school. So it's my first year. Um, what would be your ideal employment or dream job? When going into physical education, it was very tough just because it took me a while to find that first physical education position. Um, when I finally did find it after almost giving up on teaching, um, I realized just how much I enjoyed it. I coached aquatics, both water polo and swimming, and thought ideally I wanted to coach and be a teacher at the same high school that I coached at, which is where I did my student teaching in the high school level. However, going through elementary for a couple of years and then now being at a middle school, I actually pretty much enjoy middle school, just because I feel more stable. I'm not an itinerant, so I'm not having to move from or from school to school, or even having an office. So I think where I'm at right now is pretty ideal. I don't know if I would want to go back to the high school level or even in the elementary school level. What are your strengths in the area of sport and law? How familiar are you with this subject? To tell you the truth, I am a novice when it comes to sport and law. Um, I'm semi familiar with this subject area just because I have come across um, an unfortunate lawsuit where I and a fellow coach of mine was being blamed for the death of one of our assistant coaches while trying to perform CPR. So when it came to receiving the claim and the lawsuit and the verbiage of it, I was at a complete loss. So now being in this class and actually reading the first chapter, I kind of have a better understanding of the wording that was in the document that was given to me, when in reality, when I first got it, I had no clue. I was um, pretty much trusting everything the attorney was telling me and what, the school representatives were telling me. Um, so now that I have both a personal experience in with this class, going into this class, um, I'm getting semi more familiar with the verbiage that's in the vocabulary that is being introduced. What are your challenges in the area of sport and law? I think a big challenge is the vocabulary, and I guess you can say the different circumstances that comes about when it comes to law, because that there are so many different ways to approach it, when it comes to lawsuits and when it comes to, again, the verbiage being used. It's one thing is it kind of, do we file under workers' comp? Do we file under civil? Do we file, one of those things? So I know the vocabulary and trying to get not necessarily a complete understanding of each term, but to have a familiarity of each one, to have a better understanding of what's being read, along with the cases that are being introduced. Is there anything you are apprehensive about in starting this class? Um, when I first received the book, it was a little daunting just because of how, thick it was, and then starting to read it was a little anxiety kind of came over, just because, like I said, the wording that is being used, and um, this can only happen if that happens, and it is thrown out if this occurs. So I think kind of going in, feet first, and I think trying to get through these 8 weeks, knowing that it's about law, um, and how to protect not only ourselves as educators and as coaches, but also, protect the people that we are around too, to our best ability. But I think that was kind of the anxiety filled portion of it when first going um, into this course and seeing the book and our first reading. What is your greatest hope for yourself and your learning experience during this course? So like I said, I was unfortunate to be in a situation where I had someone pass away under my care when trying to perform first aid and CPR. And it took a while to get the closure that I felt that I needed. And I think that this class, um, with the book and so far what I've already read, I have a little bit more understanding of what they were trying to get out of me as far as the wrongful doing that I supposedly did. And whereas now that I understand certain things and certain words and terms, um, I know that it wasn't the case. So I hope that continuing with this course, that I'm able to get a better understanding of what, I guess you can say, what parents, because I feel that that's a big thing, are, especially with athletics, is parents are throwing that, I'm going to sue, I'm going to bring up a lawsuit, towards coaches and schools and districts. And um, I think having a better understanding of what they're trying to get out of, um, what they're trying to get out of it is, is a benefit for me. Understanding the basic, I guess you can say, um, the basics of, athletics and law, and even in terms of physical education. I think just knowing, trying to protect yourself, um, and knowing that you are protecting your students and athletes to the best of your ability and capability. Um, so I'm hoping that my understanding grows further, um, with the whole concept of athletics and law. So I hope everyone has um, a good rest of your week, and I can't wait to hear and see and read a lot of your posts in the next 8 weeks. Have a good one.